All right, y'all. It's time for another damn conversation. Hopefully, y'all can hear me. I saw Red come into the green room and then she popped back out. And so hopefully she'll be coming in. Um, I already see here Rig CH on the road and looking forward to this. Okay, so you're out there trying to make some money. That's all right, man. I've been out there late night as well a few times in the past week. So I'll probably be talking about that a little bit. But yeah, I have read. I see her. She's in the green room now. We actually talked yesterday. I sometimes make a cameo appearance on Gig Wars official with their setup where they do actually live. They're live when they're doing their daily hustle and grind. I was on there yesterday, and Red was she was not thinking well of Tony Zhu, and so I'm going to give her a chance to say what she wants about Tony Zhu, that rich motherfucker. I'll just leave it at that. Red, you ready? Okay, I'm going to pull you on here, Red. Hey there.
Hi, how are you?
I'm all right. I'm always all right when my scheduled guest shows up. Yeah. So as I
Oh,
was as I was saying, yeah, I was in on yesterday, and before I got off, I asked Red if she wanted to come on and vent for about 30 minutes. And I'm certain that she has some things to say, even today. Oh boy, is it like that?
Jesus, let me tell you, man, I'm tired. I am tired.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I am mentally tired. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I've been in this grind for since last Wednesday.
Right.
I officially quit.
You're not gonna do that. Okay. To bring y'all up to speed, Red was gonna try to build up her acceptance rate to get to the platinum status on DoorDash. And now you just heard her
Yeah,
say, fuck it, pretty much.
fuck it. I
Craig,
see
Craig,
Cray in
hey
the
there.
chat. I get,
Hey there,
I
Craig.
get, I don't have chat here, so I have it on my computer. So I gotta look over here
Mm-hmm.
to read the chat. But hey, Craig,
Right.
Craig. And she's been
Craig.
with me like since I started this.
Mm-hmm.
She's heard
And
it all.
yeah, that's what I kind of understand. Yeah, heard everything. Um,
Hmm.
Now, this latest iteration of DoorDash, I mean, is it no different than all the other mind games?
I think that DoorDash is the worst with the mind games.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely the worst. And I think
Mm-hmm.
that they've gotten better at it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. With all
I
that
am,
with all that artificial intelligence,
mhm.
they've studied our tendencies.
I am convinced that they actually have psychologists on staff.
They do. They do. I mean, hey, here's a good example of that. Hey, Sheila, thanks for coming through here.
Hi,
When you look
Sheila.
at when you look at those offers, you see the big
Hmm.
bold font. That's to get your attention.
Hmm.
Now, all the the all the fine print stuff, the stuff that we need to know, it's in smaller print or a smaller font.
Hmm.
So yeah, there's a
Hmm.
psychological aspect to it. Yes.
It's definitely like gambling.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I really think that DoorDash is the guiltiest of them all.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, especially like when you if you don't accept. Oh, if you don't accept, you want to try to build your acceptance rate up to 50%. So you might
Hmm.
want to accept this shit. And
Yeah.
people who don't know what's going on, they'll they'll fall right for it.
Hmm. I can tell you, so last Tuesday I declined well over 100 orders just to clear everything out.
Mm-hmm.
And the highest I got was 67.
Mm-hmm. And
I don't,
that would put
and
you in
that's damn close to platinum.
okay.
That's damn close. because
Hmm.
platinum is 70. And with exception of one catering order that I received, that wasn't even the greatest. It was not the greatest order. I mean, it wasn't bad, but it wasn't the best.
Right.
Um, Everything else I took was mediocre.
So you're talking
Mediocre.
like for you then like $10 for 5 miles.
Yeah, yeah. Now I will tell you that, and I said at the onset, and I kept my promise. I took no no tip orders, and
Hmm.
I took no backwards orders. I hate that. I
Okay.
hate that saying,
All
backwards
right.
orders.
And for
But
those who don't understand what you mean by backward orders, it's like, for example, we're going to use the $10 offer, but then it's for 15 miles.
right,
So you're basically paying them to deliver their shit.
right. I have found that I was more mentally exhausted during this process than I am on a normal day. And
Hmm.
I have done Hell Weeks before. I did them when they had just the basic Top Dasher program.
Right.
And
Right.
it wasn't easy then, but it is far more difficult now.
Right.
Far
Let's see
more
here.
difficult.
This is from a last mile side. Um, Rick CH said on the Curry app, which is one of the apps that I very much familiar with, had a load that was for 1,700 pounds to load and unload for $24. He bid 450 for the hell of it. And you probably said it was assigned to somebody else. Somebody was dumb enough to probably bid $30 on it. That's what I'm guessing. But that's the
Wow.
equivalent of the shit that you're talking about.
Yeah, that's ridiculous right there.
Yeah, and on the last mile space, it's very common to see stuff like that. Um, very common, very common. They want you to load and unload, 2,000 pounds, and 2,000 pounds could be like 50 bags of mulch. Okay,
I wouldn't do it.
yeah, and they want to offer like $30.
That's
We're not going to
ridiculous.
do that. We're not going to do that.
No,
We're not going to do that.
no.
And there was a time that 50 bags of mulch would go for a couple hundred pounds. 2 years ago, it would have gone for 200 pounds. But on one particular app, it doesn't go for that type of number, that type of dollar amount because they've dropped the rates. They've come to understand how drivers would pretty much do anything. And so, therefore, yeah, these apps, they're very smart. They understand the patterns of drivers. And,
Hmm.
you know, folk like you and we're telling people really how to get things done, but I don't. I think it falls on deaf ears. I really do. I really do. And then all of a sudden, when they're pissed off that they're not making any money, then you want to reach out and then try to get help, or they'll blame a content creator for their demise, their mistakes.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That's so easy to do.
Hmm. Yeah, and there was a big couple of weeks ago. There was something along those lines where a content creator was getting a lot of heat because some people were blaming him for them going out buying sprinter vans and cargo vans, and they're not succeeding. But quite honestly, this is just my opinion about him. He's a salesman. He's out there hyping shit up, and and yeah, he may say certain things though, but people are there for his entertainment value more than anything else. They're not listening, like Patrice says. Patrice says you got to do your own research. That's true. You got to do your own research.
You
Um,
absolutely have to. Hi, Patrice.
yeah, Patrice is local
Yeah.
person. Patrice is tattoo guy. If I got it right this time, he's the tattoo guy. But anyway, go ahead. Go
Oh,
ahead, Red.
a, a tattoo artist. Cool. It's always
Yes,
nice to
yes.
know a tattoo artist. Cray cray.
Oh, that. Okay, okay. Oh, cray cray.
Um,
Yeah. Well, okay. Yeah,
yeah,
he thumbed up. I got it right.
uh,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know the story you're speaking of. For real, I don't watch a lot of content.
Mm-hmm.
In this niche, I've got my few, like I follow you, I follow, I follow a handful, like less than about five, really.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I don't know about what you're talking about, but yeah,
Oh
I
no.
don't
Oh
think
no.
it's fair to
I'm just bring.
blame. I don't think it's,
I'm.
yeah,
Go ahead. Go ahead. Go
I
ahead.
don't think
I'm
it's
sorry.
fair to blame a content creator if you try to do something that they might be doing and then, um, throw shade because it didn't work for you. You know,
Mm-hmm. Right.
it's not
Oh.
cool.
Oh.
It's not cool at all.
I. I. Yeah. I'm okay with that. What you're saying, but you don't know who. This is just with the. This is kind of within the last mile space. What I'm talking about.
Yeah.
What Red does is primarily gig food. She does primarily the DoorDash, the if she still does Grubhub, Uber Eats, um, some of the catering order
Instacart.
apps, Instacart.
Nope.
Those are her thing.
I don't do those anymore. I don't care for them.
Okay, okay. So
Instacart is my favorite app.
okay, that's your favorite, huh?
Hmm.
Okay. Now let me show you this. This is what I did today. I've actually done. I've had 3 occasions on Instacart this week, and I did
Okay.
2 today. Yeah. I just gotta find them. Um, okay. I'm gonna show the first one. Hopefully it'll show up. There we go. That was my second one today. It was stacked. Um,
Hmm.
they were
Can I
both 10
ask you some
items.
questions about it? Okay, go ahead. You're answering what I was going to ask. Go ahead.
Yeah, they're both 10 items each. They were at
Okay.
Costco. In fact, I can show you the pictures of the orders as well. Um, I'll be going back and forth because I did 2 sets of stacks today. I was local, so that's another reason why I ended up doing them. It was not by this was not this was not drawn up on the chalkboard today. It just so happened that I did. Okay, so the top one, the offer was 1680. Yeah, 1680, and hopefully this is coming up. Okay, you see those 2 boxes right there.
Hmm.
That's what I delivered for 1680. Okay, and then the second one, uh, that one was offer was for 31.31, and that's the one where the tip was for 25. Another 10 items. Those those items right there.
Okay.
Yeah. So all together today, I earned. I'll pull it up as well, and I think some of y'all should remember that I started out doing gig food delivery work and kind of transitioned into the other stuff. So what I'm talking about is very much native to me, and this is where Red and I have more in common. Oops, wrong one, wrong one. That was my DoorDash from a couple of days ago. I told you about 34.50. Let's see here. Uh, this must be it here. I got old folk eyes.
Me too.
Okay, this
Ooh.
is that's for this week so far. Monday I did one for 1687. It was 13 items, and then that's what I did for
Uh-huh.
today at the bottom, 83 on those 2 stacked
I
orders.
see.
Yeah, and the other stacked order I mentioned was for 18 items total. It was I think it was
Hmm.
18, no 16 items total. One was 13 items. The other was 3 cases of water. And
Oh.
I talk about yeah. It was going to a business, and I ended up having to use I ended up having to use my dolly to take it there because if not, it would have been a bad situation. So let's see, Patrice, what do you have here? Let's see. I think I know which content creator you're talking about, and I think he's actually starting to walk back a lot of things he used to say, and I think he's humbling himself and now realizing, um, we're anyway. And then what's Brit? See, when I did Uber, I didn't care about acceptance. Cherry picked till there was a tree bare. Yep, that's the way you got to do
Oh
it.
yeah.
Accept less, earn more. That's the only way you earn money doing this stuff. Accept less, earn more.
Mhm. Mhm.
So,
Now Uber, yeah, I don't
mhm,
think Uber even cares about an acceptance rate. I think completion rate is the only thing that they care about.
right, yeah, you reach, yeah. If you, the rejection rate, your cancellation. I get a bunch of messages all the time that I'm up around 20%, and you can be deactivated if
That's right.
you
Yeah.
keep over 20%.
Yeah. I'm streaming on the phone I work from, so I can't tell you mine, but I think it's 4% now,
Mm-hmm.
cancellation
That's
rate,
your
and
mine is at
acceptance is
mine is
down
at
to zero.
mine is at 19. It was at 22, but when it was at 22, I had not done any Uber Eat orders for like a month and a half, 2 months, so they didn't deactivate me for that. But I'm
Right.
mindful. I try to be mindful. I'd rather, but a lot of times what you end up canceling on Uber Eats, if say for example, if they don't have the order, you got to cancel out. That counts against you, and it shouldn't. If you contact Uber
Right.
Eats, they cancel the order, they still count it against you.
Yes.
So,
Yes. Um,
mhm.
what the hell was mine for? I can't remember right now what it was, but
Mhm.
it must have been the restaurant didn't have. Oh, I know what it was. Chick-fil-A. No, no,
Mhm.
never mind. Never mind. That was Grubhub.
Mhm.
But yeah, no, the last one for me, yes, it went against my cancellation rate.
Right.
And I called
And there's
support for it. Yeah, that's stupid.
yeah, it is. It's so pretty much it boils down to it's the driver's fault. They're almost saying it's the driver's fault regardless. And I
Yeah.
don't
Well,
I after all these years in the gig economy, it just goes across all apps. Now, y'all, it's not so much as Red and I are really bitching about these things. We're just pointing out some known facts. Um,
right, yeah.
if and hopefully some of y'all will observe that for yourself. It may come back to your memory when you're out there doing your thing, though. But the sometimes it helps in forums like this to bring to other people's attention. So it's a good thing that Red is on tonight for those of you who may be doing, the gig food apps. Let's see what Patrice said. Really trying to learn a lot. Learn. I'm trying to lean a lot less on acceptance rate. Yes, you have to. You have to. I will say this.
Well, can we
Go ahead,
ask
Red.
Patrice a question?
Go ahead.
Patrice, what platforms do you use and what are your acceptance rates? It
Oh,
sounds to me, is Patrice
I'm gonna
male,
also do
female? I
this.
don't know.
He Patrice
He,
guy.
he, he, he. The way he
Yeah,
words that sounds like maybe he has a high acceptance rate.
could be.
And if
I'm gonna.
so, what the hell is Patrice's days like? Because I tell you what, I cannot do it anymore. I cannot.
Mhm. Yeah, it's yeah. I understand what you're saying. That's a lot of work. That's a lot of work to do to earn not what you're used to earning.
Yeah,
And I mean, and if this is what you choose to do, then yes, that's not the way to go. Now,
no.
some folk want to say, well, this is really just side hustle stuff. Well, it could very well be, but for there are people, there's a small percentage, and Red and I are among those, where we've seen there's a way to make money doing this, and this is your primary income. And if it's going to be your primary income, then you have to treat it as a business. There's certain ways you have to do it right now. Okay, so Patrice answers. He does Zifty, which is the other catering app, DoorDash, and
Right,
Walmart
I have
Spark.
that one.
Okay. All right.
When it
Yeah.
comes to Spark, I can tell you that I have had 100% acceptance rate on Spark.
Mm-hmm.
It did nothing for the offers that I saw.
Right.
And we all know that Spark had some sort of an acceptance rate glitch. They fixed it. So no matter what you did, you kept going up. So
Oh.
every offer I declined, oh yeah, I was going up. Like I got
Right.
up to 100%.
Wow.
Um, and I'm like, well, I should get fabulous orders. Mm-mm. Didn't last long. They
Okay.
fixed it. They somehow
So you said
they
you were
figured out
right,
whatever the
Red.
problem
You're right. You're what you're saying. He said he has some pretty good rates at this point, and he definitely see how he could work against them because the algorithm is gonna at some point the algorithm is gonna use that against you, in that it sees your tendencies of accepting just any and everything, and therefore you're gonna see more of those than be rewarded for your so-called um, faithfulness. Rig CHC, low pairing orders is demoralizing, full or part time. They are. Yes, I agree. Low paying orders are demoralizing. And, I'm going to throw this out there. Given that gas prices have gone up this week, I mean, they've gone up like as much as 30 cents in my market. I mean, think about it. It's costing now right at about $3 a gallon, at least where I'm at. And you burning your gas, taking those
Mm-hmm.
bad orders, at some point it's going to catch up to you. I mean, your
Yeah.
cost of doing business is going to catch up to you.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I can tell you, I have definitely made less money in the last 7 days focusing on the DoorDash acceptance rate.
Right now, I'm only at 35% for Spark, but for what y'all saying, Spark, it does not matter now. If he were at 100%, he'd be dead in the water. Okay, there you go.
Mm-hmm.
While I'm at it, if you don't mind, Red, I put the link out there for someone if they want to join our conversation for the next 10 minutes or so. I asked Red to
Oh
hang
yeah, I
out for
don't mind.
about, yeah, I asked Red to hang out for about 30, 35 minutes. I knew that she was going to be, at the end of a day and all. And this was kind of spurred a moment as I
Mm-hmm.
was getting out of gig wars from yesterday. I asked her if she didn't mind coming in for the conversation. So if y'all want to talk with her, ask her some questions. Feel free. If not, you can still type them in, and I'll pass them on to her. But anyway, now, so as of tomorrow, that means you will go back to red mode, official red mode, right?
Yes. Yes, but I am. So DoorDash has a pro shopper feature.
Okay.
I am going to work towards getting that. But acceptance rate is no longer going to matter. I'm currently at 50%. I kind of
Mhm.
like it for some reason. I don't know. But no, I'm just going to food delivery the way I normally work. But
Mhm.
I do want to get the shopping stats up just to see if that really, because they say that that puts you in line for the higher paying shop orders.
Mhm.
And I'm really like Instacart is my main money making app, and I enjoy the shopping. So if I can
Mhm.
do, if I can get myself in line for the better DoorDash shop orders, I'll do it. So what
Okay.
I need to do is more of them to cancel out some of the older ones and get my percentages up just a little bit.
Right. Now with
But
Instacart,
hmm
correct me if I'm wrong, it's more about the volume of orders that you complete to get to the
yeah,
tier statuses. And
right, yes.
that's all within a rolling 90-day period. So
hmm
I believe the number is, if you do 200 orders over a 90-day period, you're at the top tier. and you're supposed to get a little bit of an edge on everybody else. You may see the orders a couple seconds ahead of everybody, and
Yes.
you may see priority on even the better paying orders. Is
Yes.
that still correct?
Yes. So it's unless you have what they call platinum protection, it's
Mm-hmm.
220 orders that you have to do in the quarter. So a new quarter began yesterday. So,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I still have my diamond status, but now is the grind to maintain it for the
Right.
next quarter. But
Right.
yes, if you are within a certain proximity to the store, you are supposed to see the order before non-diamond shoppers, and there will be a banner that says priority.
That's me. I am non everything. But don't ask me how I saw those two orders, and I can't explain how I got. Well, I can understand the that first one, like that Costco, the 1680, but then the
Hmm.
add-on for 31, that was, I think, only because I was at Costco. That's probably the only reason why. And that there's
Hmm.
nobody like, say, you, who would have priority over me getting it. That's probably the only reason why.
Right. Yeah, they either weren't there or they were busy
Hmm.
shopping.
Right. Let's see here. Patrice says he's at 66% on DoorDash, and Zifty probably okay. Well, Zifty the thing is with your rating and completing a bunch of orders. It's taken me. I've been active on that app 2 years, and it took me 2 years to get the 20 completed orders. So
Yeah.
that should tell you
But
something.
hmm
Cray cray,
yeah.
190
I had it
points.
for I had it for a year before I took an order. More than a year. Zifty, I'm talking.
Hmm.
Yeah, Cray is killing it. She's also a diamond shopper. Um, she has found a really sweet honey hole in her market, and
Yeah,
she dominates it. Dominates it.
I
She made diamond status in 46 days.
wow, that's moving. That's moving. We got Rideshare Rodeo stopping through here,
Hi,
and cray cray.
Steve.
Yeah. Yeah. Um.
Steve, Tony's been kicking my ass for a week, a whole week. I'm finally quitting. I'm giving up on that nonsense of trying to go back to Platinum Dasher.
So Steve says Geezer and the Funkin' Silver Fox. Talking about you. So yeah. I would. You know what? I think I've made it to. What's the one below? What's the high? Is it's gold? Then what else? Platinum and then diamond. Okay.
Which app?
I've gotten on
DoorDash?
Instacart. I've gotten to
Hmm.
platinum, but I never got to diamond. Never got there. I guess I never did it enough. But I do recall I may have been on at platinum status, the second one, when I called $100 stacked order. I guess it was last year, but that's the last time I've seen $100 order. I mean, the highest orders that I've seen in the last 6 to 8 months, probably in the $30 range. If it was something for 40 or 50, shit, I probably wouldn't see it.
I
So
don't see too many $100 orders.
mhm.
Um, the last $100 order I saw was 2 weeks ago, Monday. Was at
Mhm.
Costco and it hit for 109, 106,
Okay.
109.
Mhm.
Um, and I mean, it was a huge Costco order. And
Right.
when I got there, she gave me $100 cash check. So yeah, I ended up making 219.67, I think, in 2 hours and eight
Yeah.
minutes.
Yeah. That's right. That's what you mentioned. Patrice is in my market, and he probably, based on where he has gone to do some of his stuff, he's probably about 15 minutes from where I'm at. And
Okay.
Columbia, my market is tough. It really is. I mean, as I've described, you can conceivably drive 20 minutes and drive 20 miles. That's how spread out things are. But then again, Colombia is one of those markets. Colombia is one of those markets. It's not considered like one of those test markets. It's just something. I mean, it's kind of behind the times. It's the capital of the state, but it's behind the times. So you really have to, be a hustler about things. You really have to be playing chess and not checkers, which I'm pretty sure you know quite
Well, I
well
think
with
that's
your
what we're.
market.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. It's certainly different than it was several years ago, but there's still plenty of money to be made out here. You just really got to
Mhm.
know how to maneuver. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
and I just it's no longer a one app kind of game
Hmm.
anymore.
Right. Well, Red, I asked you for 30 minutes of your time, and you've graced me with
I'm a,
30 minutes of your time. So I'll
well,
allow you to
how can
pick
I
your.
say no? How can I say no to you?
Well, that's nice of you to say that. That's nice of you to say that. But really, yeah. So have your chance to continue with your evening beverage and kick your heels up. Put them in the water. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, maybe you need to soak your feet, what have you, or just you know,
I'm gonna finish this
what's that?
cup of coffee,
Decompress.
have a
Okay.
decompress. I'm gonna finish this cup of coffee, have a cigarette, and then I'm gonna go to bed.
Okay. Well, Red, that's good enough. Hey, y'all, say goodbye to Red for coming through here. I'll be making a cameo appearance at some point during the week in Gig Wars official.
Yay! We always love when you stop by.
All right. Thanks so much, Red.
Take care, everyone. Have a good night,
All right.
geezer.
All right. All right. That's Red from Gig Wars official. She's actually the creative force behind Gig Wars official. We're still going to go through with the conversation. There was a little bit of lag. I think I don't know if it's the server or not though. But I did say we're going to have free game here now. Right here, thanks, man. Proof that even in a tough, rough market, still grind out six figures, and I do be grinding, y'all. I can tell you, I be grinding. It ain't what you think it is, but what I wanted to do was I had a video that I came out with today about building a six-figure business. And so what I wanted to do was elaborate more on that video with some observations that I've made in terms of what I think are some attributes or just points of strategy that can help you to build your business. Um, Ultimately, what you do, you're going to be the final determinant of what it takes to build your business. I will tell you that I don't read a bunch of books. I don't look at a bunch of motivational videos and all. I pretty much, I guess I'm guilty of really being rather introspective, but I'll also say this. I know what it's like to have built up a business being an insurance agent. And with the insurance agency at its peak, I had actually a $1 million book of business, meaning that I had like $1 million worth of premium on the books. But that didn't translate into my earning six figures because the commissions are not what you think they are. I'm sorry, I'm trying to adjust the microphone level here so that it does come across correctly. The most I ever made as an insurance agent is like 50,000 in a year. So that should tell you how little the commissions are in insurance. And so with me doing the delivery and transport space, this is the first time I've really made money. And so I've kind of documented as I've gone what I've done. And those who've seen me from the beginning, y'all have seen what I've done. But what I'm going to start out with is, well, I know that market plays a big part in what you're able to accomplish in delivery and transport. I do want to give you an example of a business that has thrived for as long as I can recall seeing it. And in South Carolina, there's a town called Yemassee. Yemassee is known for a train depot. That's like the almost like the center of the town. And the train depot was a place where during World War II, the Marine recruits would get off and then they would be transported about an hour to Paris Island. Well, just beyond that train depot is this. Y'all can say what you want about me when I say this though, but there's an Asian restaurant that's just beyond the train depot, and for as long as I've passed through there, that business has thrived when no other businesses thrive. Businesses have come and gone in that stretch, but somehow they have thrived. And they and well, I'm just talking from a business standpoint. Now, what I do know with business is that business is brutal and unforgiving. Business can be cruel and unforgiving. And so what I'm sharing is more niche driven more than anything else. And there's a lot of things that are out there on the subject of building a business, building a six-figure business. Some of it can be applied, and at least in my experience and understanding, a lot of it can't. Much of delivery and transport is reactive, but you have to have some kind of proactive approach. So what I mean by being reactive is that we tend to react to what's out there. If you react to what you see with orders coming up on the gig app, you either react to accepting it or not. Rideshare, my man, thanks. Rideshare says he'll hunt you down. Hey man, he'll make that trip from wherever he is from the Rockies. So y'all hit that like button. In fact, while I'm at it, I'm gonna do this here. I forgot to put this out there. Yeah, stop there. There we go. There. So anyway, yeah. So you react to the apps by accepting or not accepting an order, or you react to a load board by putting in for a bid or not. Being proactive is when what we often say is playing chess and not checkers. You're looking at what you're doing, but you're trying to plan things out beyond. You're trying to look beyond what you see on a day-to-day basis. And so one of the things that you have to have is the right mindset. And for some, when I see people talk about having, getting their vans or wanting to get a van, Sheila's telling Steve, hey, looks like we're socializing here, and that's a cool thing. This is social media. But, you got folk who are in that honeymoon phase. When they get a van, it's like, yeah, I got my van and I'm starting my business. Well, having the right mindset is not copying that gangster lean, thinking that you have a sunroof top and diamond in the back. The mindset that it takes to make money out there is one where you're basically, you have this mindset. You're looking for that next dollar. Wherever it is, you're looking for that next dollar. At least that's been my experience. It's like when I was a teenager, we used to say we were so broke we'd walk around looking for money on the ground. And one time I actually found $10 that way. But you're going about looking for money on a daily basis. The other thing is, how do you then build a six-figure business? Time. You're spending a lot of time in some capacity, and so you're constantly thinking about the state of your operations. When I was in school in business, they talk about how the effective manager is constantly assessing and reassessing business operations. So for everyday talk, you're constantly strategizing. You're constantly working on the strategy to make it work. That's right, man. Gangster, well, yeah, that's right. Diamond in the back, sunroof top, digging the scene with the gangster lean. William Devon. That's right, Rig. I know I'm going back in time when I say that. Steve, you should know that one. Just Be Thankful. Some people always mistaken that song. It was actually produced by Curtis Mayfield, and people thought Curtis Mayfield sung the song, but it was another guy, William Devon. But anyway, so you're constantly strategizing. You're constantly thinking the next move, whatever that move is going to be. Then there's the money aspect. While you're looking to make money, you've got to spend money. The old saying is that you got to spend money to make money. And so, regardless of what you think, if you expect to build something, you have to invest in yourself and into your business. Simple things like business cards, vehicle magnets. Maybe it's maintaining your vehicle. Maybe it's buying the right type of shoes to do your work. Maybe it's buying a reflective vest. Maybe it's buying what I call the knives. For the life of me, I don't get the name correct, but you've got these type of knives that you can use to cut box cutter knives, for lack of better words. Maybe it's just little things like that that you use to invest in your business. Or your operations, I should say. I mean, some would say business, some would say operations, but it's just things like that that you would use to invest. While I'm at it, I'm going to put the link out there again. If somebody wants to join the damn conversation, feel free to chime in. I certainly don't mind chatting with you. We had a couple of folk that chimed in towards the end of the session last week and made it a success. And so I'm always open to do that. What else? Now, I would think that the goal for myself and for many of us is to get to a point where our money can earn money for ourselves. And until then, the question is, what do you do? And so this is where you have to ask yourself, where do you want to take your business? Where do you want to take your operations? I know that while I've shared how I have kind of worked my way up with equipment, what then do I want to do with this 5 years from now? And I'm in an interesting situation in that time is not on my side, but I certainly would like to be in a position where at least I can consider bringing other folk into what I do. Another thing is that realistically, not all of us are going to make this work, whatever we're doing. And that's the cruel reality about many of us content creators, and the cruel reality that many of us content creators are not willing to admit. Not all of us will succeed. Not all of this will make what we do work. But I will say that at least what I've tried to have is a sink or swim mentality about doing this. And I'm determined not to sink. And so that's what I've tried to make. That I think that may explain why I've been able to make things work so far. Personal protection equipment, hard hat, gloves, eyewear, boots. Keep them in your truck. You never know when you'll need them. That is correct. I've been in a couple of delivery situations, particularly with load boards, where you could not get onto the property without having a helmet or the reflective vest or the eyewear or even the earwear. All right, so we got Rig CH coming in. He said he was on the road. I'm about to bring you in. And here we go, man. Hey.
What's going on, Giza? How you doing, man?
I'm doing all right, man. I'm always glad to have the conversation with someone, and you're the man right now. You're the man. You're in the seat of honor.
Hey, look, man, I appreciate it. I appreciate it, man. I'm just stopping through, man. Had a little, had to gas up real quick, man. But, man, okay. As always, man, thank you, man. Appreciate you for putting on a great show, as always. Definitely Thanks. A lot of jewels. You gave me a great jewel, man, because I always thought Curtis Mayfield sung that song, man. I always thought it was Curtis.
It's William Devon.
Yes, sir. But yeah, man, we out here getting it, man. We loaded up 2 pallets, man. About to get on, out here. Hey, look, man. One thing that I was always worried about, and I have a lot of worries when it comes to, OTR or box trucking or sprinter vanning, however you want to call it.
Right.
But one of the things I was always worried about is like what to do when there are damages to the freight, to the cargo. So pretty interesting. Today, I had to pick up 2 loads, same company, just 2 separate locations. And when I picked up the first one, everything went smooth. When they went to put the second one on there, the forks ripped through the first pallet, and may or may not have caused any damage. But obviously I got it. Just took pictures, documented it, reached out to the broker, let them know what was going on. And the cool thing about it was, you got your bill of lading. So I actually had the forklift driver sign both of the bill of ladings, expressing that they did damage, to it. So that way, I wouldn't have any problems. But have you ever had any loads that were damaged, either one via your fault or somebody else's fault? And then were there like any repercussions, or what typically happens if there is cargo or freight that's damaged? Do you know what that process looks like?
I've never been in that situation, fortunately. So I can't really comment on how they would take it up with me. I will just tell you that the closest I came to some issue was, in fact, I did a video on it, because what happened was somehow I didn't secure the pallet, and these containers, these 400-pound containers, had slid forward, had shifted, and scared the shit out of me. And what happened was they were not, the company did not apply correct amount of shrink wrap to keep them in place, or put those straps on them in place. But I was fortunate in that I was able to somehow muscle those things back onto the pallet. And then the guy made note that the pallet was not prepared correctly. It was not shrink wrapped correctly. So, and then what happened was the next time I went to that same place and picked up, I noticed, I start inspecting, look at how they're shrink wrapped. If there's only like one thin layer, I will ask them to put more shrink wrap on there. Or I've got shrink wrap myself, and I'll secure it that way. So that's something that I learned from experience. But I know that I didn't give you the exact answer.
No, man, that was great.
It's just I've been fortunate that I've not had any damaged cargo. Now that's why you're supposed to carry cargo insurance as well with your commercial general liability for situations like that as well. If you were the cause of it, let's say you were in an accident and the cargo was damaged, it would probably come through your commercial general liability with the cargo coverage. That's where that's right. So that's the possibility where it would come from. But
understood.
But you're doing the right thing. As a personal practice, that's what I do. I take pictures of the freight that I'm picking up, and I'll send them I'll send by email a picture of what I've picked up, and then of course documentation of at the time of delivery. I'll send them a picture of it having been delivered to them. But they've got 2 sets of pictures starting out.
Exactly. Okay. Perfect, man. Perfect. Well, I ain't gonna hold the show up, man. I'm gonna head on back into the background, man. We about to get back to it, man. But I really do appreciate it, man.
Hey, thanks. Man.
We headed up.
Go ahead.
No, I'm not sure. I thought you asked where was I headed. I thought I heard that.
Yeah. That's what I was gonna ask you. Mm-hmm.
Oh man, head up to Sacramento, man.
Oh, okay.
They be with the foolery, man. You get these loads, man. They have you do 2 pickups and then one there at 6 a.m. But guess what, man? We charged up. We charged up. Let's go get there.
All right. Yeah. Well, that's what my video was for this today. I was dropping off in Charlotte, for 6 a.m. And last week I had another one to Atlanta. The other one that I did, it was a early morning drop off to Atlanta. So yeah, you do what you have to do out there. And that's part of when you're building a business, you're out there doing what you have to do. That's part of the time element that you're putting in. A lot of folks, I think, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, man, just to your point earlier, you're absolutely correct. And, I kind of made a statement in the chat, but man, it's not easy. And no one should think, I think a lot of people, when they come into it, they think that it's going to be easy, but you almost have to have the mentality that I can't fail. Right.
Yeah.
Or you might need to sleep in your cargo van, which, because you done spent all this money on it, right? So what you gonna do? You just go trade it in and get the dead up. No, man. Get your old sleeping bag. Get your old sleeping bag and crawl in the back, man. Crawl in the back.
No, my legs are too long to be doing that shit. Huh? So I'm not gonna do that. I tried that. I tried that once, man. It didn't work too well. So I know my leg. I'm
it ain't comfortable.
No,
it ain't comfortable. But man, look, man, you got to do what you got to do, man. I mean, because you got to think about it. I'm in my cargo van. I got 12 foot of space.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And we got the floors done and all that good stuff, man. We'll roll out that sleeping bag, put that pillow out, man. We be good. You feel me?
Okay. Well, you got the extended body, so yeah, you got a little more space, yeah, for that third pallet.
I got you.
Yeah. All right, man. Well, hey, thanks for coming through here.
Appreciate it.
All right. So there you go. That's Rick CH. He's been pretty consistent with coming through here, and also he comments on some of the videos that I put out there. We're almost wrapping up. We've got less than 10 minutes in this session. So what I'm going to do is finish up with some of the notations that I made in terms of building up a six-figure business. I'm going to share. In fact, I'm kind of talking about what is my next video. This week and today have been good examples of how things have not really gone the way I would prefer. I've had what some would say has been a productive day today, and some would say so far a productive week based on dollars earned. But for example, back on Monday, it took an 11th hour opportunity. I mentioned it. The 11th hour opportunity was my having a run from to Charlotte Airport. That put me in a position to earn what I did on Monday, and kind of put me in a position where a lot of what I've earned so far this week. Yesterday, I had only one opportunity, and it was one that I almost missed out on because I'd fallen asleep. And when I happened to wake, I always get the verb incorrect though. But when I finally awakened, I was surprised. I was stunned to see that there was something out there. And I went ahead, I rushed and accepted it. And the dollar amount was like $10 to $25, less than what I usually would have gone for. But I suppose my panic and fogginess of the mind was the reason why I went ahead with accepting it. And that was the only opportunity that I had yesterday. Today, I worked local, completely local. And I earned a dollar amount that what some would say would be considered successful. But when I look at what I'm earning, I'm always looking about how it's being earned. And that could be based on the volume of the opportunities available, the quality of opportunities available. Did I put myself in a position for other opportunities, or did I take myself out of position for other opportunities? Got Unleaded 93. Hey there. He says he just got back from a 1,100 mile expediting today. Ooh. That's a pretty good drive. Now for me, where I'm at in South Carolina, 1,100 miles would be somewhere in the Texas. That's where I can think about. It'd be just beyond Houston, probably halfway to San Antonio. If I were going, that's along I-10. If it's I-20, it's just beyond Dallas, probably looking at Fort Worth, somewhere in there, if that was 1,100 miles. So on a day like today, tariffs, ask me about tariffs. 17-hour day. Yeah, okay. How are the tariffs going to impact the business? Space age rich. It's funny you would ask that question, Rich. I did put down some notes about that. And in fact, I had done a little bit of homework on that. And I was going to actually end on this. Two things. What I mentioned with Red, if you've noticed, gas prices have gone up this week by as many as 30 cents. So that's going to be a factor in terms of how you go about doing things. But tariffs, what I'm seeing is that it is creating a lot of uncertainty. Some describe it as anxiety. Businesses are taking a wait and see approach. And those of us who are in the transportation space, we realize that if there's any disruptions in supply chain, it may mean fewer delivery opportunities in the spot markets. And eventually, those with contracts are going to feel the negative effects. Now, what I mean by spot markets and contracts, this is my understanding of the transportation world. You've got those who transport stuff by contract, and if they refuse that contract or refuse that work appears then in the spot markets, which is the load boards. And so if there are fewer, but then what happens is if it becomes uncertainty, a lot of uncertainty, which could be those who are doing contracts may feel obligated to just go ahead and do it whether they like it or not. And that then decreases the number of spot market opportunities. Now, what they've also said is that the larger businesses that they make orders well in advance. And so at the end of last year, when there was talk of the current administration with their tariffs, there was a big push for orders at the end of the year and at the beginning of the year in anticipation of the tariffs. So now with these latest proclamation of tariffs, there's a strong likelihood that there could be declining freight volumes, which means fewer opportunities. So what does that mean? People be grabbing whatever they can. They may not be thinking about how it's messing up the market. They're going to try to cover their asses for today and not thinking about tomorrow. And so that stuff happens all of the time, but that behavior is going to be accelerated. So the truth of the matter is for folk like yourself and myself, for you, myself, and like Rig CH, who was just on, we're, us who operate the Sprinters vans and really the box trucks, we're at the bottom of the totem pole, but particularly with the Sprinter vans, we're at the bottom of the totem pole. So that stuff trickles down. It trickles down and we see it probably, we're going to see the effects of the tariffs, just like the consumer is going to see the effects of tariffs by paying more. So that's a long answer, but hopefully it's one that you understand where I'm coming from. So thanks for the question. Let's see here. Unleaded says he prayed for expediting brothers. Let's keep strong. Yeah, I would agree with you. Now here's the thing. Even with the uncertainty, I still believe that we should not just be grabbing for any and everything. I mean, I've mentioned this before. When a person takes load opportunities for stupid ass money, fucked up money, you're affecting the market. But with gas prices maybe on an upward trend, I mean, that's cutting into your cost of doing business. And if you're setting a mark, you can't sell up. You can sell down, but you can't sell up. So if let's say if I were one who had been doing a run for a broker, let's say 100 miles, and I've been doing it for $200, and the broker's been calling me all the time for that $200. Gas prices going up 30 cents. So that means I'm paying about $10 more each fill up. And I realize that. And so now I'm trying to come to the broker and say, well, look, I need to do this for $250. Well, the broker's going to say, well, you've been doing it for $200. Why are you asking for $250? So this is what happens when you start asking for, you're not asking for enough money. Whereas that 100 mile run that I've been doing for $300, well, I'd probably be inclined to ask for $350, but I can still do business at $300, and I'm still making more money than the person who's doing it for $200. So that's just my theory. Now, y'all, we're at the end of an hour, and I thank y'all for hanging out with me this week. Next week I do have a guest. I've got a guest already lined up. He will be He will be on here. If he does not have any clients, I'm pulling up his profile so that y'all can see who I'm about to pull up here. So bear with me. All right. So my guest next week is Mike Drop Barbecue. That's Jay Watts, Jeff Watts. He's out of Arizona. He was a guest of mine back in December. In fact, famously, I was in a hotel room in Shreveport, Louisiana, when he was on. But unfortunately, my not the audio, but the video part of this live stream went bad on me, and so he kind of bailed me out. Hopefully, we'll have it right with the audio and the video as what's been going on for the last few weeks. But Jay Watts will be my guest next week. And hopefully y'all be joining me on another conversation. So thanks for hanging out with me, and may your grind and may your hustle continue.